So here we are in Puerto Rico, and although I took a break from the game to sleep and work and stuff like that, real shame. Just starting up again, I feel like I'm really kind of getting into the swing of it now. Not so much in terms of knowing what I'm doing, but in terms of the game's actually picking into a full period. So the mayor comes out for the first player so that he can fill in his different locations. He gets the extra. Actually ended up with 2 extra colonists because of the way there were already 6 on the ship. There are only 5 now because there were less empty building slots. Next player took the prospector just to grab gold. He saw nothing that he really wanted to do that gave him a great advantage. Gold seemed like a value because he didn't have enough cash to build. Go here with the craftsman for production, primarily because he got an extra indigo again out of it. And again, there wasn't much to do. Well, now after production, everybody's got pieces. Trader comes up, there's a goods sale. Trading house isn't full, so it doesn't dump, but people made more money. And then the captain comes out for goods delivery, and we see the boats are all kind of clogged up and sitting there. A lot of victory points handing over. Everybody's kind of, nobody's saying, I don't want to sell this. I don't want to send this out for victory points. Victory points seem like a valuable thing. You know, 1 for 1 is probably about as good as you can do. So, you know, if you're talking about selling, and the most expensive thing we see is sugar, but if we're talking about selling indigo, 1 for 1 is about fair. And if somebody has a handful of sugar and they don't have a warehouse, it only makes sense to send it out. So, it seemed a reasonable thing. Now we're at the end of the turn, and we get some bucks on here. The settler is becoming a valuable option, no question. And the cards go back. Start another one. I don't know how much you're gaining from this. I think there's a lot more if I go in piece by piece and do every little detail, but yeah, just in terms of, hey, what's going on, how's the game going, because my thoughts disappear very soon after taking a turn. This is one of the problems I have with these games, is when I'm doing my action, I know what I'm doing, why, I can explain it, but when I come back to try to explain it, it's hard to remember. It's not like a war game where I can say, oh, look, these guys are going here, and we can see this long-term. I don't have that kind of long-term planning in a game like this. I think some people may, but I fail. Made it around again, and the economies are definitely kind of booming. Alright, so we started off with a builder, and I'll look at what people built along with what happened on their own turn. This guy built tobacco storage. Basically the biggest thing he could afford that did him any good. He had a tobacco. This guy built a small warehouse, which gives him better storage. Again, the best thing he could afford with his cash. He also played the settler, which is kind of cool because that got him another indigo. He didn't have enough people to place everywhere, but he got a free one because of his hospice over there, so he got an extra settler here. Just, you know, all these little buildings have special effects. Now, this is one problem I have, is keeping track of all these as I'm running through solitaire. It's hard enough even when you're playing a game like this in opposed play to remember all the little effects you have. Of course, there you're only hurting yourself if you forget, but here I feel like I'm spoiling the whole game if I start forgetting people's stuff. Okay, so what happened here? Well, this guy wanted more colonists, and he also wanted to reposition them because he had this bonus coffee, and he was able to buy a coffee roaster. So he set up for coffee production. This guy here could not find anything he really wanted to do. Production would be cool, he would have gotten an extra thing, but it seemed like taking $2 instead of 1, because there was a buck on it, was worth more than what he could produce. The best he could produce was an indigo or a sugar, and other people would be producing more than him. This was the only card he could play that would only benefit him. It seemed like it gave him the bigger edge. I don't know. Hard to tell. This guy said, no, production's happening and I'm going to take the bonus from it. The reason why, because he's got these 2 tobacco and he had a tobacco storage thing, so he was able to take an extra tobacco as his bonus at the end of the cycle. He also got a draw that gave him an extra settler on his corn. We have the other thing too, right? We have people with haciendas who got extra draws. Oh, this is gone, and we get more of these. I'll never remember to do those in order. We just should be glad that I. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I still need another one. I don't know if it matters what stacks things are. I mean, I know that it doesn't, but I don't know if the rules state anything about that. And there's our new lineup. No trading and selling happened, so the situation with the boats and the money is the same. One thing we see is when the captain went, not the captain, the governor went, or mayor, there were a lot of building slots open, so there's a huge quantity of colonists coming the next time somebody grabs one. Maybe more than there will be spaces for people to have. I mean, obviously there are enough spaces, but they may get distributed wrong. Okay, so we'll go on to the next turn. Move this, and I grab some of these cards and move them around, and you get to see. All right. Kind of having a good time, I guess. Now we're entering a period where things are getting kind of nasty. Put some money out. That population came out. Everybody got lots and lots of people. Good sale. There was only one space open. He took it. Got a lot of money. I think he had a bonus for that. Okay, so then we go down to this guy, and he says, I don't want to do anything. Took his $2. This guy said, I don't want to do anything, took $1. Why don't they want to do anything? Well, the trader had already come out and had given additional money. That one was actually valuable. Let's look at the other, though, the shipping. Well, the ships are so full that people were going to be discarding goods, at least some of them, if they pulled that card out. And taking an action, even if maybe they got a slight advantage out of it, which hosed them, especially these later guys who have lots and lots of goods, it seemed like a bad idea. This guy said, to hell with it, I've got a warehouse. I'm going to build the Craftsman, or I'm going to take the Craftsman and get a bonus, and it turned out to be a tobacco out of it. So that worked well for him. But overall, there's these loads and loads of goods sitting in people's city, and they don't have enough cash to build the large warehouse yet, for the most part. Some people may be getting close. So it was a tough turn, and somebody might have done the goods delivery. Now it's got $2 on it, so I think there's a pretty good chance that it'll end up going. Hard to tell who. Does this guy have a warehouse? He doesn't have a warehouse. He wants to build a warehouse before he takes it. Now, he has money, so he may just do it. He may do the builder. The builder comes with an extra $1. That sounds like a good plan for him. In fact, I'll do that. So after the builder, he was able to build the large warehouse, which was a bonus of sorts, except the captain comes next. He doesn't have a dude on it. So what happens? Well, all the ships ended up filling up. This guy was able to grab some significant victory points. Everybody who could kind of sold what they could, but there weren't a lot of slots left. Well, that's changed, but we have a problem. There's people with too much stuff. This guy has the ability to save one of all those tobacco. All that tobacco just rotted on him. Over here, this guy, he has a small warehouse, so he can save all his tobacco, and he'll save a corn. And he's got that actually staffed, so that's kind of cool for him. This guy has a small warehouse. He'll save his indigo. This guy's large warehouse, all great and everything, but he can't hold his coffee, so he loses a couple of coffee because he doesn't have somebody working it. And this guy's fine. And we'll keep going. And then the fourth player took the trader. good deal. It gave him $1 extra for his sale, which was the tobacco. Plus, he got $2 extra for his large market. So he got a nice little pile of money. As you see, he's got here. Second player sold a corn. Actually, got $1 for it for the small market advantage. Just wants to at least turn something in. It's kind of hard to tell. You know, holding a lot of corn, it's easier to send the corn off on your boat, even though the tobacco is worth more. It might have made more sense to hold a pile of corn and a tobacco. Of course, he couldn't sell a tobacco, and I think he would have had he been able to. And a couple other players got to play. This guy got boned. One of the disadvantages maybe of playing 5-player. Personally, I kind of like it. It means that even if you have the only, and not that he had this option, but even if you're the only person holding a certain goods, you still might want to pick that because you might be the only person able to sell it. Now, and we see coffee was for sale. These go back because the market's full, which is one kind of cool advantage, but the guy who had the coffee had the last option and he wanted to clear the deck. Alright, we'll keep going. Okay, so I think I gotta get those dudes on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I completed a couple of turns since I was last here. We had looked part way through the last turn and I didn't finish that up for you. I don't remember really what happened. But we got a new governor. He did production, grabbed a decent amount of stuff, and then this guy did trader. Everybody sold stuff except he didn't get a chance because there's only 4 spaces in the trading house. I wanted to see if that changes depending on the number of players. It's kind of an interesting concept. It would be neat if it were kind of like musical chairs or something where it went down in some number of players. The ships do. Anyway, after the goods sale, and some people are getting bonuses off this, like he's got the +2 doubloons plus the 1 for the trader. Somebody else had a plus for it. Some cash came out. The builder came out. And we're seeing some big buildings starting to come out. Not the sugar mill, obviously, but large market here again. No biggie there. A university. Ooh, he wants to get somebody on there. We just had the mayor. He just played the mayor, and he's got 2 of those. A sugar. I'll take one of these off because he's going to move from corn to the university. Okay. So yeah, that's one of the bigger buildings, and it gives a bonus here. When the builder next comes out, he gets a colonist on that building if he builds something. That's kind of cool. And that's oh, we're looking at the buildings. Yeah, another sugar mill, and over here the wharf, which allows him to send his own ship out, which may be important because we're seeing that shipping is becoming problematic for generating victory points, so that may be a really, really powerful advantage. After the builder, we had the captain, goods deliveries, and we see all the ships are filled up, or all the ships are committed, and people grabbed some serious victory points on some of these. Some of them did not. We've got some people who are really lagging in just about everything. Obviously, they've made some poor choices, I would say. And then finally, a colonist collection there. I'm beginning to see how tight money can be in the game. You know, the choices you make, well, look, I can grab $3 here, and that's kind of cool. There's not going to be a lot more than that available in most trading options, unless they have a lot of cards or a lot of purple buildings. We had people have enough money to buy one of these big double buildings. but they're just victory points at the end of the game. I mean, they're starting ones and then bonus points for having stuff. They don't really help you win the game, or they don't help your engine continue onward. Now, they'll take up 2 spaces when they go in, so they're kind of a heavy commitment. I feel like by making that choice, at this point in the game, you're probably throwing away whatever advantages have led you to get to this point. So you probably want to keep producing income and increasing your income production abilities, or whatever else you have, you know. I mean, income isn't the only thing. There's victory point production. There's this, that, and the other. What we are noticing, though, is kind of the people with piles of victory points are also people who can generate decent money. This guy, see, this guy's got his coffee thing, so he should be able to make money. He was able to get the university. I wouldn't count him out of it yet. Anyway, again, this is a completely uninformed view. I'm going to load this one up because it's over my normal time, and we'll see what happens.